So I just got back from the range comparing the Triggercam to the new Scopemate S18. My initial plan was to have a mic on while I was shooting, kind of walk you through what I was doing, seeing, my thoughts, whatever it may be. Range actually ended up being a lot more crowded than I was expecting it to be that early in the morning. So just kind of walk you through what I was doing now, and then we'll come back after the range and do kind of a quick recap or follow-up. Basically, start with the Triggercam. Just going to run through a series of 4 targets at 400, 550, 700, and 1,000 yards. Then we'll swap right over to the Scopemate and do the same, 400, 550, 700, and 1,000. After that, I will post a few screenshots of those targets, looking through both of the cameras. And then again, we'll come back and kind of do a quick recap. So had to shoot it kind of quick, couldn't do too much of an extensive test. The mirage was just getting super bad. It's about 8:30 in the morning when I shot this, and it was already getting bad, as you'll tell. So with all that being said, we'll just go ahead and hop right into it. And then again, come back for my final thoughts and go from there. So we start with like I said, the Triggercam, and we'll just start right at 400 yards.
Yeah, and TFSCI from 2 different.
No, 550.
When I got mine, they my PS. You had to do your investigation every so often.
Original, yeah. Now it's continuous. You don't have to submit papers.
No, 700.
Okay.
That one you were just shooting at.
Yeah. Maybe that's not got anything to do with it. It's fucking horseshit though. The one's been in since October. And then I from late March and one from 3 weeks ago.
I go off on the other one.
Yeah, and now 1,000. It's the torso on the far right.
Okay. They transferred the Iron Horse. You did the.
We transferred the Iron Horse and went to there, did all the paperwork. Yep. They called me and said, "Hey, come pick it up." So I come over and they hand it to me. Like, wait a minute, you've got another day to wait.
There you go.
We'll go ahead and switch over to the Scopemate S18 and run through the same series of targets.
On the far left. Which one are you shooting at? Okay.
We'll go ahead and show some screenshots through both cameras side by side. I did notice that the Triggercam looks like slightly more zoomed in compared to the Scopemate. That is a setting that you can change on the Scopemate to have a narrower field of view. Just something that I hadn't done. I had it set at the widest view, and I think I probably need to keep it there because I'm going to be filming on an angle. I think if I narrow it up, it's going to kind of shorten it up too much so that when I try to spin the video, it's going to be cutting a lot of it off. So again, zoomed out slightly compared to how the normal settings on the Triggercam are, but not the biggest deal. And I will say I did have to adjust some settings on this when I got out to the range, some light settings, specifically the EV setting. The picture just looked pretty bright. It kind of looked like I was almost looking straight into the sun with my scope, which I definitely was not. So I adjusted it a little bit, and I think it turned out all right from there. But that's kind of one of the bonuses with the S18. There's a lot more you can do settings-wise and adjustability-wise than there is with the Triggercam. Some of it you probably don't even need to ever touch. That's really the only thing that I did touch. And again, I think it turned out great. But kind of going over both of them, like I said in the previous video, been running this one for a few years, so very familiar with it. I did notice immediately when I put this Scopemate on that the picture for my eye, so looking through the the clear piece that they have there that slides over the scope, was much crisper than it is looking through the Triggercam. So with that being said, again, this is 2 years old. I took it back off and I was kind of cleaning it off, same way I would my scope, cleaning out my lenses, things like that. But when I put it back on, I still noticed that it was a little bit clear through this. And again, that's just to my eye, what I was seeing. I'm not sure if they maybe use a different piece, different material, piece of glass, whatever it is, than the Triggercam that's just slightly more clear. I'm not sure. But again, to my eye, this looked a little bit more clear than this. A couple other things to notice. I know I mentioned in the first video as well, I have stripped out 2, if not 3 screws when attaching this. I still feel like I can't tighten it as much as I want to without stripping it out. And I have knocked it loose in a few matches. Not the biggest deal for editing purposes. I can fix that, but super distracting when you're in the middle of the stage and you shoot and you see it wobble to the side, or maybe it wobbles in front of your turret or your level, and it just kind of throws you off during the stage. That being said, this one, as I thought it would, locked up incredibly tight. Has 2 set screws instead of 1. I did not feel like I was anywhere near stripping it out. I feel like I actually could have gone much tighter if I wanted to. But when I had it mounted, it was absolutely rock solid. I felt like I could have grabbed it and picked the whole rifle up with it. So incredibly sturdy compared to this. So that was kind of a nice sigh of relief, because I hate putting this on. I feel like I'm going to strip it out every time. Factors other than that, I mean, usability and the buttons on this are very nice. Again, they're kind of right in front of your eye. It's flashing in front of me so I can see that it's recording. I did have it kind of, I guess, freeze, if you will. I was connected to the Wi-Fi when I was adjusting the camera settings. I kept walking to and from my car and it kept disconnecting, connecting, and it kind of froze, which I'm kind of happy that it did, because I've had it happen on this, in the Triggercam, in the middle of a match before. And I, first time didn't know how to reset it, but then figured out you have to hold both the power and record button for about 10 seconds and it does a hard reset. But if you have any settings changed, it wipes them out and you have to go back in and redo them. So it resets the unit. You don't lose any videos on the SIM card, but it does reset your settings. This froze because it has that external battery. All I had to do was unscrew the cap, the battery popped out, it turned off, I put the battery back in, restarted it. Everything that I had saved was the exact same and we were up and running. It took me probably 15 seconds. So it is going to happen with both units, but it was much nicer with this one because I didn't have to do anything really, just loosen the battery cap and retighten it and I was done. So, but that's about it. I just wanted to get some footage through the scope for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below. Again, I do have the 2 different discount codes if you didn't see that first video. One for just a discount off the price and one for a free extra battery if you'd like. When ordering the Scopemate, I will throw those codes down below. So feel free to hop on their website and go ahead and order. And then what we'll do this upcoming weekend, so here in a few days, have an NRL Hunter match. So I think I'm going to shoot day 1 with the Triggercam, day 2 with the Scopemate. If you don't want to sit and watch the whole the NRL Hunter video, I'm going to try to throw up at least some shorter ones so you can see an actual stage, actual targets that I'm shooting in a real match and how they compare. But for me, going back and watching the footage, I thought it was pretty clear through both scopes. I could tell where I was hitting, which way the target was swinging, if I needed to make a correction or if I would have missed due to wind, which there wasn't any. But that's the biggest thing for me. Can I tell when I'm watching my own footage, can I tell where I'm hitting, where I missed? If I make the correction, did I make the right correction that I needed to? And when I pulled the shot, when I squeezed the trigger, was I guess, steady and on the target, but where I needed to be with my holds. So I have learned a lot from watching myself. I think it's made me a better shooter overall. But that's why I really started doing it, and now I enjoy filming matches. But like I said, and still pretty initial impressions because I haven't used this in a match, but very impressed with this for the price point or the price difference, with this being 600 and this being sub 400. So again, I'll go ahead and post the discount codes if you're interested in this down in the bottom. Have any questions, feel free to post them. If not, we'll post some videos of this match coming up this weekend, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.